Hello everyone, it's a Romanian Business Discovery podcast powered by Austral Trade with another episode, this time with Javier Garcia del Valle, the CEO from Happy Tour. Thank you so much for joining us today in our studio.
Thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure.
And I also welcome George, our CEO, and he's going to co-hosting this episode with us today. Let's start the discussion. First of all, how did you two meet?
I met George in the CEO Club. We are both members of the CEO Club, which is a club in which entrepreneurs and CEOs we meet to share ideas, to have a bit of fun. It's also important in life, and to learn from one another. So this is how a number of years ago we started, no? Isn't it?
3 years for me already. Yeah.
3 years already. Time flies. Indeed. That's how we started. Yes, we have shared a number of discussions over there. We have shared a number of events in which we both participated. And yeah, for me it's a pleasure to be here sharing this afternoon with you.
And you were one of them verifying, checking me when I applied for the club.
I have been in the club for, I think, since the beginning. Actually, I think I'm the number 2 or 3
Wow.
member of the club after Sotiris presented it in Romania. I have the task, if you want, from Sotiris. He asked me and the team of the CEO Club if I wouldn't mind to kind of checking out on the newcomers and introducing myself. Because of course, when you are joining the CEO Club, the team tells you a lot of good things about the club. And then you might believe it or not. But then when one of the members with no salary from the CEO Club, with no interest other than being a member, contacted you and explained what is it in for me as a member, it's a different talk. You know, I do not need to sell anything to anybody. I'm just sharing my experience. And then you as a newcomer, you take it in a different way because it's not somebody trying to convince you to join. It's me already in, that I have no benefit or if you decide to join or not, explaining what is it being member of the CEO Club. And to be honest, after 11 years or so being a member, the fact that I'm still a member,
That's a good feedback.
it's a good feedback, I would say, yes.
So it's safe to say that you meet doing networking.
Yes,
How
for
im-
sure.
How important would you think, and I'm gonna ask both of you, that networking and meeting a lot of new interesting people in the same area is important for a business?
In my business, definitely it is. Definitely is. I am in the travel sector, as you know. So at the end of the day, in my business, we sell pretty much what any other travel agency or travel management company
You sell
sells.
dreams.
Yes, in my case, being mainly in the corporate travel, mainly focused to companies, at the end of the day, what you buy from us, you could find somewhere else. It's true that we try to add value to what we sell. It is true that we add technology to what we sell, but you need to know that I am there. You need to know that I am available to provide services to you so that you will contact me. How do I make myself available? How do I make myself known? By being present in networking events and in CEO Club, in Chamber of Commerce and so on, so that people, this is Javier. Yeah, this is Happy Tour. Yeah, I know Happy Tour. Now I know Javier. So next time that I need something for the company, travel for the company, events or whatever,
I have it in my mind.
I will contact Javier because he's not a bad guy. He's a nice guy. So yeah, let's test them. So for me, it is important. Apart from that, I strongly believe that life is a learning curve. It's a learning process. So the fact that I am with George, the fact that I am with Virgil, that I heard that he was here with you today as well,
This morning.
that I am with many other entrepreneurs CEO Club, for me, is invaluable. I mean, the added value that they provide to me, the knowledge that they altogether have, the fact that I can benefit from that knowledge is immense. So networking to me is a very positive thing. What do you think?
You said, I will start. You said something very important also for us in Austral. You say that people need to know that you are there when they need you. If you look, our logo, știi pe ce te bazezi, okay? You understand Romanian?
Yes.
This is our philosophy also for our customers. Nowadays, we are selling, let's say business supplies. But if we go back 20 years ago, maybe we were convincing our clients, explaining that our German-made pen is writing a 2 kilometers line uninterrupted and so on. And it was a very, very important sale argument. Now,
not anymore. Yeah.
For nobody, this argument works. What we do and what we try to do is, and to be better than our competition, we try to deliver very personal service to our customers.
That's the key.
And actually, știi pe ce te bazezi means we are always there when you need us. On the other hand, coming back to the networking in the club, my answer is yes. For business, it was important until now. I discovered some new and very important clients for Austral. But not only. I got some very good friends there.
Definitely. And if you allow me to interrupt you, Jose, at the end of the day, I believe that getting to know somebody, becoming friend, is what it will trigger after the business. And actually, in the CEO Club, one of the rules they say is that we are not allowed to hard sell.
Yeah.
No, it's not about that. For that, you have other environments. The club is for you to feel yourself, to feel relaxed, and to get to know other people that might have different thinking in several subjects or similar ones, but at the end of the day, with whom you can get to know each other, with whom you eventually will become friends. And if it happens,
Great.
they might become a client. But if not, I mean, I can tell you, not 100%, not 50% of the members of the club are clients of Habitur. Would I like them to be? Of course I would. But it's not about that. Whenever the time is right, if they consider, some of them cannot because they are under a contract or global agreements and so on and so forth. But that's not the main point. Overall, the networking, it is important for the business, overall. But specifically, the CEO Club is not, the main topic is not the business. It's actually to get to know each other. We know each other from the club. I have been 17 years in Romania, but I know George only the last 3 years. Why? Because of the club. So that is how you get to know each other. And then eventually, business will come later, if it comes. And if not, we are still good friends.
That's the most important at the end of the day.
So I agree with you, definitely.
The human behind the business. So you both are in the market for a lot of time.
Too many.
Too many years, yeah.
You can see in our hair.
Yeah, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of pressure, political changes, fiscal changes. How would you compare today's environment, today's business environment to when you started?
I would say it's different.
That's it, not worse, not better, not
I would not necessarily call stamp it as best, better or worse. No, it's true, it's different. The world is evolving as it is the business environment. 17 years ago, when I came to Romania, the business environment in Romania was one, and today it's a completely different one. Yes, I can say it's better because the country has improved in the last 17 years, no doubt about that. But in our particular business, that what I know, it has changed, it has evolved. Indeed, it could be more difficult today than then, but at the same time, difficulties bring you opportunities. So I wouldn't say it's better or worse. I would say it's different. The way we do business today is completely different that it was when I came. I remember, because I have a number of years on me already, when I started to work, I started with the telex. You don't know what
No,
it's
I don't know. What is it?
telex. It was a kind of a typewriter machine
Okay.
in which you will type in the message. A yellow piece of paper line will come out from that. You will put it in the machine and will transmit the message to another telex through the telephone line that was somewhere else.
Ah, like a fax or something.
Before the fax.
Before the
Telex
fax.
was before the
Then
fax.
the fax came. Wow. Wow. This, man, this is the top. After this, nothing. With this paper that after a number of days or the letters was disappearing because it's actually the
It was this kind of thermal paper.
thermal
Yeah.
paper, so actually it will disappear. And then one day somebody came with an email. What's that email? Email. And now they are talking about most likely internet will disappear soon
Really? Never
because
heard
of
of that.
the AI.
Okay, yeah.
Because nowadays, they were saying some 800 millions. I don't know how many millions. I don't want to make a mistake. They are not using Google anymore
Yeah.
to look for things. They are going directly to
ChatGPT. Yeah.
ChatGPT or the likes of ChatGPT. So the search engines are disappearing. And then you have all the information coming through.
Yes, but on the other hand, there are some AI engines that are based, fundamentally. They are
Correct.
based on the internet and internet research.
Correct. But it's changing.
So, yeah.
It's changing. So telex, then fax came and it's wow. And then the email, top of the top. And now
AI.
AI, telephone. It is said, and you have heard this before, that all the technology that was able to send the Apollo 11 to the moon is less than what you have in your telephone.
No, really. Wow.
So can you imagine how has advanced the world, the technology has advanced,
And pretty soon, yeah.
and our business environment?
But aren't you worried about,
No,
the speed,
the speed.
the speed of the change?
I wouldn't say I am worried. What I would say is, in this is a challenge. It doesn't. It concerns me, but I'm not afraid of it. It concerns me because I have to be flexible and agile enough to be able to adapt myself, that I have a number of years, as I said, and my company to the needs and to the changes in technology. So I have to make sure that my company follows the trend of the times. And sometimes it's a challenge. But I'm not afraid of those challenges. Actually, it's kind of motivating to make sure that we keep our company top of the line. We are probably one of the most, if not the most, but at least one of the most advanced travel companies in the technology that we provide.
Okay.
We can provide technology that tells you where your traveler, imagine you are a company, you have a person from your company traveling somewhere, we can track exactly where he is in every specific moment. What we
That's
call
amazing.
duty of care. Why? Because if, like yesterday, it was a earthquake in Turkey,
Okay.
and well, we had some companies saying, "Hey, I have people in Turkey. Can you please locate them?" Yes, you have one. The closest one is 500 kilometers far from the epicenter, so they are okay.
That's amazing. That's very innovative technology.
We have that in the company. You can book yourself. You can have everything in your telephone. We have an agent, AI agent that is helping you. Hey, don't forget, Emma, to book, or leave now because you will.
Be late or something, yeah.
Everything is there. So you need that kind of motivate you to invent, to develop, to keep the pace of the times. Otherwise, you become obsolete. And being obsolete in the market, just it's
Are you going maybe to some international meetings, or I don't know if they are still existing
Yes, they are.
in your industry?
yes, indeed.
I mean, changing these kind of ideas. Look, you can track like a congress.
No, absolutely, absolutely. First of all, we are lucky because we are part of an international brand, FCM.
Okay.
FCM is an Australian-based company that is present in 95 countries in the world. We are lucky to have their representations for Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey. So the power of this company, which is a $19 billion business, so they have the capability to develop technology that probably as a local company, we might not be able to invest that much, but they do. At the same time, because they are one of the top three in the world, the top three travel management companies in the world, they are able to measure the market, to kind of investigate, to follow the trends, to follow what is the market demanding, and being able to cope and to develop that, to cover those needs. The fact that we are able to access that technology is helping. At the same time, there are other technology providers for our travel sector that definitely they organize meeting in which several travel companies from around the world we gather and we exchange ideas, knowledge, and we learn what is trendy mainly in the US because we know
Yeah,
what is happening in the US.
comes at us. Yeah.
Few good years later, they are here in Europe. So indeed, we are there. We continue try to be on top of the changes because again, you need to remain relevant for the market. Otherwise, you are done.
10 years ago, when my son started his studies in École Hôtelière de Lausanne,
Oh, very nice one.
I was joining him for the introduction
Yeah.
first day.
Yes.
And I learned some very interesting figures at that time. One of the professors was explaining them that at that moment, 10 years ago, the travel, the hospitality industry, let's say, including restaurants and so on, and
Correct.
it's employing 10 years ago about all white. It's employing about 10% of the total workforce all over the world. For me, this was wow.
It is. And if you consider that is direct employment, but if you consider indirect employment,
Yeah, indirect other services, yeah.
taxes, meat producer or meat deliver for the hotels or restaurants, bread.
What I can understand from the last 10 years, let's say, about this, your industry, the travel industry. If I look to thousands or, I don't know, 10,000 or 50,000 aircrafts being in the air in the same time on the globe.
Yes, that's kind of amazing.
I'm not traveling that much, but when I go to the airport in Bucharest, I started becoming very about the crowd and so on. I'm very nervous, and I was thinking if we are looking to the future and we look to, we are hearing every day important people letting us know that in 10 years 50% of the jobs will disappear and so on all over the world. But on the other hand, I think the travel industry, it's one of the industries that will keep developing. Maybe one of the let's
Few,
say
no-
you can have a hope for sure that a future exists
Oh, definitely.
because we have AI, we have I don't know,
Robots.
virtual reality and so on. But if you want to visit Machu Picchu, you have to go there
Correct.
to
And
see it.
definitely, Julie, I mean,
And for this, you need an agent, a travel agent, a flight, a hotel to.
no, definitely, definitely. I mean, hospitality will stay. And don't forget something, travel is no longer a luxury, it is a commodity. A number of years ago, our parents, for them to travel was kind of a very
Big
big
deal, yeah.
luxury, big deal. Nowadays,
Everyone travels.
everyone travels.
30 years ago, I was flying Germany for some international trade affairs in our industry, and we were not more than 30 people in the plane.
Now, how many planes a day from Bucharest to
Full,
there?
100% full,
Yeah.
yeah.
I said that travel is a commodity nowadays. It's true, depending on the economic situation, depending on the external factors. Well, you might be able to travel a bit farther, or you will need to stay a bit closer, depending on the disposable money that you might have, or the available money that you might have. But nowadays, everybody travels. It's kind of a need that we have. Yes, maybe a month or maybe a week, depending on each one capabilities. But don't forget something. Travel is the only product that costs you money but makes you richer. It's the only product that you buy that costs you money but makes you richer. So everybody wants to travel. Indeed, some trips you can do yourself, especially in the leisure arena. If you need to go to Vienna and stay a weekend with your significant other and book a hotel, probably you don't need a travel agency. I agree with that. The problem comes, or the need of a travel agency comes when a problem arises. Then is when you want to call somebody to help you to solve the problem, and then you call the call center of the airline and nobody's answering, or just 1 second, remain on the line and you stay 15 minutes on the line, but you have a problem, nobody's listening to you.
The chatbot, yeah.
With the chatbot, or the press one if you want to be attending in Spanish or in English or in Romanian or this or that, and then hang on a second, you are the number 25 in the line, and then your problem exists, and you have nobody to talk about it. Then is when you realize that a travel agency will always exist as long as people realize the added value that a travel agency is bringing to them. Unfortunately, we realize this added value only when we have a problem.
You're right.
It's like insurance.
You're right.
Why do I need an insurance for the car? Why do I need an insurance? When you have an accident, I have an insurance. Maybe, hopefully, in a full year, you have no incidents, but you have paid your premium for the car without use, or the premium for the insurance of the house, and you don't use it. Great, but you still pay it because you know that when the problem arises, you want to be attended, you want your problem to be solved. That is the added value that we bring. And unfortunately, maybe we were not able to transmit it properly to the general population. Why the big corporations, they do use travel agencies? I believe that travel agency will still be needed as long as people realize the added value that it can bring. And why big corporations are still using travel agencies, or why they are keen in using travel agencies? Because they see the value. They see that I have offices in 10 countries and I want to control which each country is doing. I want to know where my people are. I want to have a better buying power. I want to have a consolidated reporting. I want to understand. I mean, we have clients that worldwide they spend up to 100 millions or more in travel. They want to know where that money is going. So for the corporations, it's much understandable that they want to have that added value, and that when a problem arises, we have a telephone to pick up and ask for help, and that somebody behind that line.
So what kind of problems does HappyTour actually solve?
Hopefully, there will be no problems to solve. But basically, what we provide, we want to say we are not ticket dispatchers. We are travel consultants. Let me explain to you by examples. We have a client, please allow me not to mention the name, that, like many clients, Javier, I want to make sure that I always take the cheapest available fare for my flight ticket, for my team. Perfect. Every time we try to find the cheapest available fare and we give to them. After 6 months, we came back to them and we told them, you have booked through us in these first 6 months, I don't know, 150 flight tickets, out of which you were forced to cancel 50 because of your meeting exchange, because the meeting was postponed, or you had to cancel it, whatever reason it is. But 50 flight tickets and the corresponding amount were completely lost. Please allow me in the next 6 months to do it, not the cheapest one, but the one above that allowed you to change the ticket with maybe a penalty of 30 or 50 euros, depending on the airlines. Okay. And I told him, if at the end of the period, with the same number of flight tickets, the amount is bigger, I will cover the difference. If it is lower, if it's a saving, we prove to you our theory. And indeed, they again cancel a number of flight tickets, but in this time, they didn't need to cancel them. We changed them. So the amount of money that they saved was enormous. We proved to them that they could save between 10-15% of the total amount that they spend in travel.
So basically, a good travel consultant can help you efficientize your costs and even...
Correct. And that's just one. The fact that we provide detailed analysis of their travel. For instance, you have a company with, 20 people with the headquarters in Vienna. But 20 people are constantly traveling to Vienna. And every time to a different hotel. Why don't we talk to the hotel and we make an agreement with that hotel on your behalf, and we will get a special rate for that hotel. And all your travelers will go to the same hotel. Okay, well, you can save. Instead of taking the normal rate, you have a corporate agreement that will reduce the price. And we sign a contract on behalf of the company, the three, the hotel, the company, and in this case, HappyTour, so that they will have access to a better rate. Because in our case, we don't charge a percentage of the volume, of the cost of the travel. Our fee is a fixed one.
Oh, okay.
So I don't make more money if you pay more for your flight tickets. No, on the contrary, I want you to reduce as much as possible your cost per ticket.
That's very interesting. And what can you say? And what can you say about the multi-city travel opportunities that you have? Let's say, like you said, you have a team of 20 people and you have, I don't know, let's say Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, then you go back to Vienna and you have a lot of hotels, a lot of conferences. It's a very operational and logistics.
More complicated.
Yeah.
Then, again, if you are going to travel constantly to different locations, maybe you want to have also an agreement with the airline.
Ah, okay. So you can make that also.
You can make that also. You can negotiate it rate for a specific airline. And then you will consolidate the volume, because at the end of the day, by consolidating the volume, you gain buying power. If you are going to buy one car, or you are going to buy for your company 20 cars, the price per car diminishes.
Yeah.
This is the same. And then on top of that, I will provide you with a detailed analysis of your expenditure. For instance, I will tell you, your employees normally are booking between 5 to 7 days prior the departure of the trip. But if you will book between 7 and 15 days, normally you might have a 5 to 10% reduction on the price, because those are the figures that are in the market. Normally between a week or 15 days or 15 days to a month, depending on the destination. So we will do that analysis for the client, and we will tell the client, your booking trend is not helping you to reduce your cost. And we know that is called travel policy. That is not only that, it's many more things together. We help companies to put together a travel policy that will tell them.
That's very, very nice.
You will tell them what or how many days in advance you should be booking so that you get the best possible rate, or it will allow you to go to 3 or 4 star depending on your position within the company, or it will allow you 1 day go and back, 1 day return tickets if it is allowed or not. What is the reason of your trip? Because you might have some reasons that the company do not consider appropriate for you to travel. Altogether, that conforms the travel policy, and we help companies to put that travel policy together, which allows them to better control their travel budget and eventually to reduce it. Our main goal as a consultant is to reduce their expenditure. And nowadays, all the technology that is coming to the market is helping us to do that in a more efficient way. I mean, for instance, we use for many of our customers Power BI, so that we feed all the data into Power BI, and they can immediately extract it and see which is the city pair more demanded. And city pair meaning which destination is the most demanded. Maybe it's Bucharest Vienna, or maybe it's Bucharest Paris, or Bucharest Frankfurt, whatever it is, which is the airline that we use the most. Why we are not using the agreed rate or the negotiated contracts? Everything.
But does a travel agency has better fares in negotiating with airlines and hotels rather than me as an individual?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. And I will actually, I will have to accept that in many cases, our rates might be even worse.
Oh, that's very strong of you to say that.
Yes. Not a big difference, but sometimes, unfortunately, airlines are trying to, or hotels are trying to capture the clients directly, which is a very absolutely normal and very respectable
Initiative.
initiative, if you want. So sometimes they have better rates available in their websites than through a travel agency. Actually, we face this situation every day, that the client calls you, but why you are giving me, I don't know, 100 and in the website is 75
50,
or 80? And we have to explain that to them. Several reasons. First of all, that you have to pay that in advance immediately. In our case, if you are a corporation, a company working with us, we might have a different agreement. Secondly, if there is a problem, you have to call the call center. And actually, I think it's already a bit old, but I guess we all remember the volcano in
Eruption.
that was in Greenland, or what was, I don't remember, it was in Iceland.
In Iceland?
in Iceland. A volcano in Iceland a number of years ago. And, and of course, many of my friends called me, Javier, I need your help. And I asked them, did you book through us? No. Then sorry, I cannot help you. All our customers were attended, first of all, which is the most important thing, to know that somebody is taking care of you. Secondly, they were rerouted, some of them with crazy things because that was the moment and it was available only that. For instance, I had a client that we put him a car from Paris to Nice, and from Nice they took the plane back to Bucharest. Others took TGV to other cities, and from there to fly. Some of them flew to Madrid, and from Madrid, because the southern you were, the better the situation was. So, but at the end, all of them were kind of looked after, whereas those that booked directly, they had to contact the airline. And imagine, it was not only you, it's thousands
Yeah.
of people
Who need the help in
needed
that
help.
certain moment.
So that's what I'm saying, that if we go to the penny, yes, the insurance. Yeah, you might have an insurance that doesn't cover fire. But then if you have a fire, what? For 20 euros, is it worth the risk? That is your decision. Unfortunately, our friend George doesn't feel well, so we continue without him.
Yeah. So Javier, you are in the business for lots of years. When was the moment that you realized, okay, from now on, just working hard is not enough, and I need to develop some processes, I need to innovate, I need to enlarge my team?
Well, it's very difficult to point out a single moment because as in the case of Habitur was always like that, because it was already when we entered in Habitur, it was already a well-known big company and well-established. But as entrepreneur, because I have been an entrepreneur, and of course, as your company is growing, you realize that you need to have some procedures, and you have to put some structure and make sure that your values are there, and make sure that whatever, no matter how much you grow and no matter how many processes, your core values stay there. In our case, trust, honesty, and customer service is something that there is no discussions about those three, minimum those three. Those three are non-discussable. Trust, honesty, and customer services. The bigger you become, in our case, with offices now in Bulgaria and in Turkey, of course, we are a big organization, more than 120 people altogether. It's difficult, but having that clear allows you to continue to grow on the correct path. And then, yes, you bring in technology, you bring in new tendencies. Nowadays, we are very much focused in sustainability. It's no longer like travel, it's no longer a luxury. It's a must.
Yeah, it's today.
It's today. If we want this world to evolve in the right way, we need to concentrate and we need to put focus in sustainability. And in our company, we are very much into that. I mean, I'm proud to say that we are paperless company. So yeah, Travel Alliance is very normal. Papers, we take notes, we do everything electronic because it's important. Everything counts. We recycle in the company, whatever we do. If we are buying anything, we try to be from recycled materials. We really take care. Our office building is green, so we have very concise things that electricity is saved. so that environment is a major factor for us. So all of that you bring along without forgetting your core values, your core business. And then you keep growing, improving processes, modifying. You have to be flexible and agile. You have to be both because it's different.
How agile can you be? I mean, in your case, you have multi-city headquarters, you have a lot of employees. Where do you stop? I mean, okay, you can be agile, but not 100%.
Well, you have to be, what I would say is that you cannot be 100% flexible. Agile for me is to have the capability of listening, understanding, and try to accommodate to the needs of the client as much as you can. And flexible is maybe, I don't know, it's allowing certain
Point of views.
point of view that is
Different.
might not be exactly as you could see it, but at the same time is valid, is honest, is trustful, is transparent, and therefore is valid, even if it's not as you would like things to be done. So
But that requires a very healthy ego. In order to say, okay, I'm not as smart as I thought I was in this topic, I'm going to let someone who's more experienced or maybe even less experienced, because if they're less experienced, they are more open.
the smartest CEO is the one that surrounding himself with smart people. I mean, I don't know everything of everything. I can't. I mean, we have in our company human resources, sales and account management, local corporations, finance, international multinationals, MICE, which is meeting, incentive, corporate and event, premium line, premium for vacations. We call them premium travel desk, and then we have leisure vacations. I cannot know all of every single department, no, but I have very capable managers in each of the departments with very capable team members in each of the departments. So I listen to them. We normally, the way I act, it doesn't need to be the best one, but it's how I am. Is if I have a point of view, I will present it. And if somebody has a different one, or somebody tells me my point of view doesn't work, to tell me it doesn't work is not good enough. You have to tell me why it's not good enough, why you consider it's not good enough, and which will be the alternative. And in that way, you are empowering your colleagues to take decisions because they know that they can speak up whenever they consider. And at the same time, you are making them accountable.
You are somehow giving them the capability of having initiative.
Definitely. I mean, we welcome the fast mistake. I mean, I don't have a problem when one of my colleagues makes a mistake, as long as he or she recognizes the mistake and learn from it immediately so that it's not repeated. But that mistake will not be punished. By no means, on the contrary, because normally in the process of learning, you make mistakes. And in the process of improving, you make mistakes. So in our company, honestly, you need to realize that I cannot do nothing without the team. And you need to, first of all, as a CEO, absorb that. I mean, if you believe that you are indispensable, that without you this doesn't work, you have a problem.
How would you say the consumer, the client today is different from the client, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years ago? Is he more refined in the buying decision?
Very much. I might not be 100% correct, but I use one sentence that I think will kind of explain what I feel in the travel business. I mean, the buyer has evolved. At the beginning, 17 years ago, clients will come saying, I have this much, let's say 1,000 euros, just to say something. Where can I go? That's a tourist. I have 1,000 euros. Where can I go with this? Today, they come and they tell you, I want to go there and to that hotel, and I want to visit that city. How much it costs me? So before it was, I want to travel. We didn't do it before because of the communism in Romania and the beginning of the new capitalism, if you want, economy. And nowadays, with internet, with TikTok, with Instagram, with all of this, clients know exactly what they want. And that is perfect. It's very difficult sometimes for us because we have to accommodate to their needs. But at the end of the day, it's very good to understand and very good to see that they know what they want and they know what to expect for the money that they pay. Sometimes I am a client in many occasions, every day, restaurants, whatever. And sometimes I expect maybe more, but knowing exactly what you want, it helps you to really define and to really select what you buy. And that's very important. So indeed, the customer, the client has changed drastically in the last 15 years.
But I'm curious, and I want to ask you more as a person like you and me, not necessarily from the CEO point of view. You say that the customer is more refined, so definitely the power of buying grew. You have more money even though inflation is up. How come, although there is more money in the market and the taxes are still up, how come in this growth, if we compare it to, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years ago, although the inflation is escalating and everything is burning, like I like to say, we are still living better lives than before?
Well, the opposite will be a problem. Economy is there. I mean, capitalism in general is supposed to improve the life of the people. We get better salaries. It's true. Prices grew significantly. Taxes, unfortunately, grew and keep growing. Correct. But also the fact that you know better what you want, you are not spending in things that you might not need, and before you were spending on those. You know better what you need and what you want. If before, I'm just saying, you were buying 2, 3 pullovers of medium quality, you may want to say, well, no, I will buy one, but the one that I like. So we are improving our quality of life. The world is improving in general. I mean, we are seeing,
Paradoxally, yeah.
it will be, as I said, it will be really concerning if the world, although in some countries, unfortunately, due to the economical tension and wars and all of that, that is really sad to see. But in general, the world evolves to provide better lives for the people, for humanity, and that is normal. It's true that in some cases prices have increased drastically because at the end of the day, it's business.
That's what I wanted to ask you. So it's also because of there are more brands on the market because more people are turning into entrepreneurs rather than going and being hired.
Well, the entrepreneurship is there, and Romania is a country of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
It is, and definitely we, and the new generation even more, we want to be owner of our time, which is the most valuable thing, to own your time. Because many of us working in corporations, we do not own our time, unfortunately. We are agendas and all of that we have to cope. And the new generations, they are more into, I want to have my time, my quality time. And maybe I don't need that much money, but I want to enjoy that money. Many big CEOs or big owners, with a lot of money, they don't have time to spend it. And this new generation is changing that. Is the fact that said, you know what, I'd rather travel 3, 4, 5 times a year, maybe short trips, weekends or so on. Am I spending maybe more than I should, but I want to enjoy the life. Whereas in my generation, you start to work and you work. And then when you can already afford it, sometimes you're a bit too old to do certain things. So that is good. I think is good. It's difficult for businesses to be able to capture
Keep, yeah.
those generation and to retain them, because again, their mentality is different. And I have sons and daughters from 19 to 33, so I have been through all of that. I have 4 of them, so I know what I'm talking about, and the way they see the world is completely different than my generation, and it's normal. Important is that we need to understand that we have to be efficient, that we have to be productive, and definitely enjoy as much as you can, never more than you can. That will be the...
And be happy, like.
And be happy, definitely. And travel, because as I said, travel is one of the most beautiful things in the world. I am happy, I would say. I have had the opportunity of visiting more than 87 countries.
Wow, that's amazing. What was your favorite?
All of them, each and every one of them.
It has to be one that got your heart a little bit more.
Romania.
Nah. Except Romania. Come on, give me one.
And except Spain?
Except Romania and Spain, yeah, which are your nationalities somehow.
Yes, it is. Actually, I'm 37% Roman.
See?
If you go to, I don't know, to Argentina,
Okay.
and you see the Perito Moreno, the glacier,
Oh,
or you see the Pampa, it's amazing. But if you go to Chile and you see Valparaiso, or you see the mountain chain, it's amazing. Or you go to Mexico, US is a continent per se, Canada or Australia, or in Europe, I mean, Italy is beautiful. You go to Germany and you go to Cologne and you see that cathedral, is amazing. Or London is a beautiful city. That's what I'm saying. Each one, Egypt with the pyramids or whatever, or you go to Indonesia or to Bali and you see the culture of the Tanah Toraja, so whatever. Every single country has something to teach you. You have something to learn from them, and it makes you richer because you understand better the world, and you understand that we are all the same but different, but it's still the same.
when you started talking about traveling, your eyes started to shine.
I love to travel, honestly. For me, as I said, it's the best spent money because material things pass.
Come and go, yeah.
The experiences that you have when you travel, those remains with you.
Yeah.
You might buy a fantastic car. Yeah, in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, it will become old. No matter how good the car was, it will become old. And you will try to get a new one. You lose value of the car or of the house. You get tired of it. Whereas the experiences that you have lived during your trip, I was with the CEO club in Singapore.
Oh,
I mean, that experience will remain with you
whatever.
forever. Or when you take closer to here, you take a boat through the Greek islands.
The Cyclades.
Or exactly, or you go to Turkey in the Cappadocia with the
The
balloons.
yeah.
All of that remains. Or you go to the temples in Southeastern Asia, or
Bangkok.
Vietnam, or Bangkok, or all of that, or Myanmar. Is beautiful. Or you go to Japan,
Yes, with the
China. I used to work
blossoms.
in China for a period. We used to have an office in Beijing and in Shanghai, so I had to go constantly over there. I mean, that Great Wall, it's just, or you go
It's
to
just
Hangzhou
speechless.
or Shenzhen or Shanghai, how it keeps evolving. Everything has something from which you can learn. And then your mind, little by little, opens and give you the opportunity to better understand the world. If people will travel more, I think we will live better.
Wow, that's very powerful. And I agree to that. I mean, I also traveled for 2 years entirely. I was a nomad, and it changed my life. I was a completely different person.
It does, because whatever it seems different from here, from the sofa of your house or your office, when you go there and you learn and you understand,
You adapt.
it's not so different anymore. It's not so different anymore. And when you see why people are acting in a specific way, when you are there and you learn from that, then you say, oh, it makes sense.
You start feeling smaller somehow.
Exactly. I mean, the wall is enormous and it's beautiful. It's unfortunately us humans who are destroying it. And but again, you don't need to travel far to enjoy the wall. I mean, Romania is beautiful. I mean, when you consider in this country, you have mountains, you have snow, you can ski, you have
The
beach,
sea, yeah.
you have the sea, you have the
Go
coastline,
sailing, yeah.
you have the Danube Delta, which is unique in the world. You have more than 150 castles. You have everything. You have Maramure's, the monasteries, and I mean, as a country, it's beautiful and it's authentic. Because unfortunately, many countries are no longer authentic because of the massive tourism.
Yeah.
Romania is still authentic. So even though it's not my market or my business line, I would recommend people to visit Romania because it is really, really beautiful. That's what I'm saying. Depending with the eyes that you use, if you use the eyes of comparing one to another, it doesn't work. If you go with the eyes of a kid that is learning, that is eager to take knowledge and to see different and new things, then you realize that every single country has something to offer you.
I got goosebumps from this conversation. So I'm gonna say a few words to the young entrepreneurs who are just starting now in a few words, and then we end it because next year we're gonna do a scholarship. So this is a good starting point to enter the universities with this, supporting the young entrepreneurs. So we're going to match two projects.
Okay, I will try to be brave, but to shorten a little bit. What I would say is, when you're entering the market, first of all, you need to know indeed what you like, but you need to know what are you good at. Those people who said, pursue your dream. Okay, it's nice. It's nice. As I heard once, those words are normally said by millionaires. They are millionaires, they tell you, pursue your dream. Yeah, yes. But how did you become millionaire? By working hard. That's the only recipe. You need to know what are you good at and work hard until you have enough knowledge to actually enter in what you want. Today, maybe the technologies are helping people to get sooner to that point because the artificial intelligence and all of this new technology is helping a lot. But indeed, what I would say is life is not easy. Work environment is not easy. But this is a beautiful world, and if you pursue, you get it. If you work hard, you get the reward. Don't take shortcuts. Don't take shortcuts, because shortcuts never work. Work hard, and you will get there. And you will get there. Yes, we all would like to become millionaires at the age of 23 or 25, like Zuckerberg or all of these multimillionaires in their garage. I mean, there is 1/10 of those. The rest of the mortals, like me, we start early, we keep working, and then you get to 58, and then you said, okay, I have achieved something in life. It doesn't need to be at 58, it can be at 30. But you have to work hard, you have to pursue that. And understanding what you are good at. If I will start now playing football, I know that I will never be Ronaldo or Messi. Ronaldo, I'm Real Madrid. So Ronaldo. No matter what, because I didn't have the talent. No matter how hard I will work for it, I will not get there. Why? Because I don't have that talent. But maybe in what I'm good at, in my case, seems to be travel and this PR, HR or commercial or whatever you want to say. If you work hard, you get to the point. People good in technology, they will reach the top. As long as you work hard and no shortcuts. That will be my message. Am I right? I don't know. Time will prove. It worked for me.
For you, it worked, definitely. What do you think, George?
I will continue somehow his one of his ideas. Be sure what you do best, what you are good at. Maybe I will not be so positive. My advice is think twice, and before trying to start a business, because unfortunately I met in these 30 plus years a lot of young enthusiasts. They found after they failed, let's say twice or 3 times, and they were, let's say, honest, telling me, I found that actually I'm not good to be an entrepreneur, but I would be perfect as employee in a top management position for a good company. So my advice is think twice. I will not avoid the well-known slogan, follow your dream, but
I would say, if you allow me to interrupt, Georgie, follow your dream, knowing that you are good at that. I mean,
for sure.
my dream, maybe is become Ronaldo.
And
There is no way.
nonetheless, I think they should be mentally, let's say, prepared to fail once, twice, 10 times, and to start again.
It is said that the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken did it at the end. You know this?
Yeah.
He started the company when he was 74.
It worked?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never late. Never late. And
But he was very good at making chicken. His whole life made chicken.
exactly. I mean, the opportunity comes. I mean, in my case, I was 40 when somebody called me, hey, we need you in Romania. Okay. At 40, I had my own company, well settled in Malaga, in Spain. And suddenly this opportunity came, and I said, why not? Why not? You have to be open to those
You have
opportunities.
to be open, and you have also to be ready. I say it once again, to fail.
Definitely. And if you allow me, many people say, and have luck. What is luck?
Being at the right time at the right moment.
When opportunity meets preparation, or when preparation meets opportunity.
That's true, yeah, because
So-
luck can hit you in the face and you cannot see it.
Exactly. So you have to be prepared. Again, and sorry again to put the example, if Real Madrid will call me to do a test, yes, it's an opportunity, but there is no preparation. So there is no way I will pass it.
And maybe you'll even get hurt.
So when preparation meets opportunity, so work hard. If you are well prepared in something that you know you are good at, there are more chances that you will succeed. And again, as you said, be ready to fail. My biggest dream was to become a soldier.
Oh, really? That's very different from what you do. Soldiers don't have that much freedom. Travel comes with a lot of freedom.
For me, since I was a kid, my biggest dream was to join the military. And I applied to the Army Academy, and I missed the entrance for 3 points. I needed 975, and I made it to 972.
Wow.
Then I said, okay, I will go to the Air Force Academy because I want to be soldier. Then I pass all the tests, and then in the medical check, I have a small deviation in the nose. Sorry, you cannot make it. Then I said, okay, I want to fly. I will go to the Iberia Pilot Academy. They had a program together with Lufthansa in which they will cover the cost of the education. And once you get hired, you will be paying back, reimburse this cost. So I went there, I did all the training, I did the simulators, I did everything, and I got the position number 5 in the entire
ranking.
in the ranking. But at that time, basically Iberia was hiring new pilots with lower salaries and firing all pilots.
Oh, that's
So,
not pretty.
so reducing the overall cost. So there was a big strike of the pilots,
Of course.
big fight, big discussions, all of this, and they said, okay, in order not to cancel this, how you call this?
Contest, let's say.
Yes, this year's death, we will take the top 3 only.
No.
And I was the number 5. When I considered I was done, so it was clear for me that
That's so
God
unfair.
had something different planned for me. So I failed 3 times, and then I end up here, and I'm the happiest man in the world in doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, you end up
This
pretty
is
well.
the reason of the name of your company.
No, actually, when
You are the happiest man in the world.
I am the happiest man in the world. I have a beautiful family, healthy one,
I confirm, I know his wife.
and I say something that people laugh. I do what I like. I do it for free, and I get paid for it. So I travel. The company normally pays my travel, unless it's in vacation, then I cover it or not. But when I have to travel to events or to meetings or all that, the company covers that, and then I get my salary. How can I be happy?
You have the best scenario, the best case scenario.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to be honest, you have to be positive in life. And again, in my case, I have a beautiful family, healthy one. I have a nice job. I'm in a beautiful country. I'm happy.
Life is beautiful. Yes.
Life is beautiful. So far, so good.
Amazing. I like the way we ended today's episode. Thank you so much to both of you for being with me here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you also, dear audience, for listening to us, and we will meet with you together in the next episode of Romanian Business Discovery, powered by Austral Trade.